G'day folks, Artist Wayne here and welcome back to episode 3 of my Fury 3D tank build. In the last episode, the suspension nearly broke me, the tracks nearly broke the printer, and the engine is now dirtier than a mechanic's coffee mug. But it's all coming together beautifully. Today, it's about the fun stuff, the armour, the gear, the scrap and chaos that made this movie tank look like it had survived 5 lifetimes. You know, the kind of details that make Fury, Fury. So trust me, today, this tank is about to level up. With episode 3 officially underway, it was time to start getting properly messy. I kick things off by packing wood putty along the top of the tracks. This is thick, heavy, glorious mud that really sells the weight of a tank like Fury. This part of the build isn't about being neat, it's about being believable. Mud builds up, it dries, it darkens, it gets knocked off, and every layer tells a story. But why just the top of the tracks? Well, the reason was simple. I wanted this job done before I glued the upper hull and the turret to the lower hull. Once everything's locked together, access becomes a nightmare. So this was the perfect moment to go hard on the tracks and get all that glorious filth in place. Laying down all this wood putty along the top of the tracks to build up that thick, heavy, caked on mud you see on real tanks would give me the texture and depth that paint alone just can't replicate. And once all that was in place, I started experimenting with different mud colours, layering tones, darkening some areas, lightening others, just working it until it looked right. Because once that upper hull was locked in place, it was going to be all about the details. Guards, lights, welded armour, the German helmet, the gear, the clutter, all the little touches that instantly turn this from a tank into Fury. Righty-o, there's the mud colour. I'm going to build up some thick mud on that suspension so the colour will change a little. I've just painted the top of the tracks because I'm going to get the hull fixed to that lower hull. But first, I'll be heating up the front of that tank guard. It doesn't take much. Bit of a tint. With the mud sorted and the front guards dinted, I could finally glue the upper hull into place. This is where the fun really starts, because whilst all this was going on, I was already getting the jump on printing all the small details. Printing all that juicy detail. It's all about the details. German helmet and gas mask. Now this is where building Fury really starts to differ from just building a standard Sherman tank. Because the movie tank isn't clean, symmetrical or factory correct, it's personal. Every detail on Fury tells a story, and to get it right, I found myself watching the movie scenes over and over again, pausing, rewinding, zooming in, studying every angle I could find. On the front of the tank you've got a German helmet and gas mask hanging there, trophies of war, reminders of where this crew has been. There's also that plank of timber strapped across the nose with a spare tank wheel sitting on top for extra protection. Then you've got a whole row of spare track links welded straight onto the front armour. Improvised, brutal and absolutely iconic. Now I am slowly adding all the detail that will make this Fury. And honestly, don't even get me started on the back of the tank. With boxes stacked everywhere, rucksacks, duffel bags, jerry cans, gear piled on like this crew hasn't unpacked in months. And every single one of those items made me stop and think, do I 3D print this? Do I scratch build it? Do I modify something that already exists? This isn't just about building a tank anymore, it's about recreating a character, and every little decision brings Fury one step closer to looking like it's rolled straight off the movie set. Another really important part of model building that doesn't always get talked about is matching scale. When I find something online, for example the German helmet and gas mask, I can't just hit print and hope for the best. Before anything goes on the printer, I've got to work out the scale so it actually matches the tank. This build is 1/10 scale, so every little detail has to feel right. Not too big, not too small, otherwise it instantly breaks the illusion. That means measuring, comparing proportions, checking reference photos, and sometimes doing a test print just to see how it looks sitting on the tank. It's a bit of trial and error, but when the scale is right, everything suddenly clicks. The detail stops looking like a random accessory and starts looking like it's always belonged there. Now it was time for mud, multitasking, and momentum. So while parts were printing, plans were forming, and while I was figuring out how to create all these movie details, it was time to get properly dirty. I started laying down thick, heavy mud across the suspension and wheels, building it up in layers so it looked like it had been packed on over miles of rough terrain. This build is happening on all fronts at once: printing, planning, painting, weathering, and with every pass, Fury starts looking less like a model and more like a tank that's been through hell. So, as I finished detailing the front of this tank, it was time to gear up for one of my favourite parts of this build: painting all of this glorious mud, courtesy of my big tub of wood putty. Eventually the entire tank's going to be covered, but for now it was back to the wheels and suspension. The trick here is getting it to look as realistic as possible: thick, heavy, and properly worked into the suspension and tracks. This stuff isn't just sitting on the tank, it's living there. Of course, this is where model building starts messing with your head, because while I'm happily slapping mud everywhere right now, I'm already thinking ahead to photography. At some point, I'm going to need a muddy background that actually suits this tank, because a filthy war machine sitting on a clean bench just doesn't feel right. But that's a problem for future Wayne, and I'll need to cross that bridge when I come to it. Right now, we're getting muddy. Once one side was finished, and more importantly, once I decided I actually liked it, because hey, finishing one side is always the moment of truth. You stand back, you squint, you ask yourself, does this look real? There's no crystal ball with builds like this. You just take the leap, trust your instincts, and hope the illusion holds. And whilst my wood putty was drying, I was continuing to forge ahead. This is definitely one of those builds where everything starts overlapping. I'm attacking the model on all fronts at once, printing parts, painting others, weathering here, detailing there. I'm searching the internet, I'm downloading parts, and I am seriously thinking about booting up 3D Studio Max so that I can make my own parts. And it's all happening at the same time. And therein lies one major problem, the tricky part of filming it as well. Because the build itself is always a few steps ahead of the edit. And especially with something like this, once the momentum kicks in, it's really hard to know where to draw the line and say, yep, that's the end of this episode. It's always a balancing act, and because I was having so much fun with this project, I kept wanting to push forward, but at the same time I needed to slow down enough to actually capture what was happening on camera. Because when things are moving this fast, it's very easy to look down and realise I've already done 3 more jobs that technically belong in the next episode. I mean, at this point, my Fury tank was honestly growing faster than my video timeline could keep up with. Parts were flying off the printer, mud was going everywhere, details were piling on. So you'll have to forgive me because I'm about to reveal a little more than I originally planned. But don't worry, I'll be breaking it all down and showing you exactly how I did it in the next episode. Alright everyone, that is a wrap for episode 3 of my Fury 3D tank build. This episode's been all about the details, adding glorious mud to the suspension and tracks and all the gear that go into making this Sherman Fury. Right now, I'm deep into boxes, bags and jerry cans piled up on the back of the tank, and to be quite honest, it's looking incredible. Next up, I will continue to add more detail, more texture, more grime, more attitude to this hull. Then I can move on to the turret, and I cannot wait. I am having so much fun with this build. So if you're enjoying the videos, make sure you hit like, subscribe and stick around, because this tank is only getting better. I'm artist Wayne Dowson. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.